Hi, I'm Hannah, and I help globally mobile families understand how international school systems actually work. I'm filming this after our family actually suddenly left Dubai last week while our kids are still enrolled in school there. So we've been asking the exact same questions a lot of parents are asking right now. If you suddenly had to leave the country, what happens to the school fees you already paid? Do you lose the re-registration deposit for next year? Do you still have to pay term 3 tuition? Because when you're suddenly outside the country, school deposits and tuition suddenly become a very real question. And right now, a lot of the parents are trying to piece together answers through school emails, WhatsApp groups, and a lot of conflicting information. So let's walk through what the actual KHDA policy says. Because once you understand the rules, the situation becomes much clearer. There are really 3 things parents should know. First, the re-registration deposit. Second, tuition before the term starts. And third, the details many parents miss about withdrawal. Let's start with the re-registration deposit. This is the deposit parents pay to secure their child's place for the next academic year. Normally, that deposit is considered non-refundable. However, KHDA policy allows refunds under what they call extenuating circumstances. And one of the examples specifically mentioned is overseas relocation. So if a family needs to move abroad unexpectedly, schools may refund the re-registration deposit. But parents usually need to provide documentation. And timing also matters. This should happen before the next academic year begins. This is definitely one of the first things you should look into after leaving Dubai because those deposits are not small. Now let's talk about tuition fees. If the next term has not yet started and your child has not attended school, tuition is generally refundable. Schools may deduct certain administrative fees, but full tuition usually isn't charged if the student hasn't started attending. Again, this is where communication with the school early makes a big difference. Now, here is the detail many parents don't realize. Your child is still considered officially enrolled until you formally withdraw them from the school, even if they're not physically attending. Which means if the term begins and the school still has your child on their register, the tuition clock may start running. This is the part many parents only discover once they're already dealing with it. If a student withdraws after the term has started, KHDA allows schools to deduct part of the tuition depending on how long the student has been enrolled that term. The calculation is based on how long the student is officially on the school roll, not necessarily how many days they attended. So the earlier the withdrawal happens, the better the refund situation usually is. Right now, many parents are navigating all of this through a mix of school emails, WhatsApp groups, and a lot of uncertainty. But the actual rules are written in the KHDA registration and refund policy. And once you understand how the policy works, things become much less stressful. So the key takeaways are very simple. If your family has already left or is thinking of leaving Dubai, notify the school early, understand the withdrawal process, and keep the documentation if you are relocating abroad. Those 3 steps can make a big difference. Globally mobile families eventually learn something important. Your child's education pathway can move with them, and international education systems are far more flexible than most parents realize. If this video helped clarify things for you, consider subscribing. I share insights on how international school systems actually work for globally mobile families. You may also want to watch my next video about what happens to your child's education if you leave Dubai. Because when you live globally, education works a little differently. And if you're currently in the process of going through this like our family, I'd love to hear what situation you're facing in the comments below. See you in the next video.